At the top of Mount Everest, there hides one of the most elusive and legendary cryptids around. We're talking about everybody's favorite snowy Sasquatch tonight on Midnight Cryptid Club. Hello everyone and welcome to the Midnight Cryptid Club. I'm your host Natalie Rose and I hope you brought your climbing gear because we are going all the way up to the top of Mount Everest to discuss the Yeti. Grab a blanket and get comfy, but before we get started, if you're not a member of the club just yet, hit that like button for me and be sure to subscribe because we discuss a different monster every Friday at midnight. To start, we are traveling to the frozen forests of the Himalayas to familiarize ourselves with the Sherpa people of the region. For many Himalayan communities, the Yeti that we think of as almost this cinematic monster is actually a spiritual creature which is sometimes connected to mountain gods, or used as a cautionary figure, similar to things like the Rougarou or La Llorona that we've talked about on the channel before. The creature is said to harm travelers if they travel too far into dangerous parts of the mountains, and the stories of the Yeti were also used as explanations for mysterious events like avalanches, disappearances, storms, and the like. In Tibetan language, Yeti means rock bear, and the description seems pretty bear-like. The creature is said to be very tall and humanoid, operating bipedally and standing at around 6 to 10 feet tall. It's said to have a strong ape-like build and is covered in thick brown, black, or reddish fur. This white version of the Yeti is more of a westernization of the classic monster. While this one does belong to the Himalayas, like so much of history, most of the accounts that we have to reference are from the West. Western fascination with the creature began in the 19th and 20th centuries when mountaineers reported mysterious footprints in the snow. The English, in true English fashion, mistranslated the name Meto Kangami, meaning man-bear snowman, as filthy snowman, which is how we get the term abominable snowman. And this is what started this snowball from spiritual being to a cryptid just waiting to be discovered. In 1832, one of the earliest Western reports came from a man named B.H. Hodgson. He saw what he described as a tall, bipedal creature covered in long, dark hair fleeing through the snow. He initially thought it was some kind of orangutan, which makes sense until you consider that you're in the middle of the mountains in Nepal, but some do consider this the first modern Yeti sighting, and this was only the beginning. Sightings have occurred frequently in the 20th century, so strap in as we start to explore them. From 1920 to the 1950s, there were several expeditions that found large footprints at high altitudes in the mountains. Sherpas were the ones who actually claimed that these tracks could belong to this man-bear creature. In 1938, Frank Smythe led an Everest expedition where they actually got photographs of some of the prints near Everest Camp 4. He claimed the prints were far too large for humans, but the photos mysteriously vanished, leaving us with no hard evidence. But perhaps the most famous footprints were found on the Shipton expedition. These Shipton footprints from 1951 were documented by Eric Shipton and Michael Ward. They were clearly defined and heralded a new interest in the creature. Actually, in the 1960s, monks at the Pangbosh Monastery displayed a mysterious skeletal hand said to be from the Yeti itself, but this was later unfortunately debunked as just human bones and animal parts. In the 1970s, Reinhold Messner completed the first solo climb of Mount Everest, and he reported seeing a large, upright creature in the Himalayas at night. Apparently, when he came upon the creature, it screamed loudly and fled into the darkness. Later, Messner reported seeing the Yeti closer up. He described the creature as moving on 2 legs and with a distinct animal-like head. He actually later wrote a book about his experience called My Quest for the Yeti, in which he discusses these sightings. Unfortunately, for us Yeti believers, most Yeti fur samples that have been found can be traced back to various bear species in the area, like the Himalayan brown bear. This species is actually a critically endangered subspecies of brown bear. They're found naturally in the subalpine scrub forests in the Himalayas, but are actually known to travel further up the mountain. There's also a breed of Himalayan black bears that are found closer to the base of the mountain, but they typically stay under 14,000 feet. These bears have a lot of protections on them right now to try and combat the extinction they're facing due to rising temperatures and deforestation. But all this wouldn't explain the bipedal nature of the beast. That's closer to things like apes, but even apes don't move bipedally for long periods of time, so there's really only one solid example of another bipedal mammal, and it is, I hate to say it, a kangaroo.
Every time.
But there are no kangaroos on Everest, so I think we're still safe to say that there could be a Yeti out there. These days, you can find the Yeti all over popular culture. I mean, he's got shows, movies, animated movies, video games, microphones, very expensive water cups. I mean, if you name it, there is probably a Yeti brand for it. For people in the Himalayas, the creature actually also still holds strong cultural and religious significance. Thank you so much for spending some time in the mountains with us tonight. That is all for today, but as we are quickly approaching the heart of holiday season, I'm hoping that you all have a fantastic time celebrating with friends, family, and cryptids alike. We'll see you soon, but for now, good night, sleep tight, and don't let the monsters bite. The photos actually mysteriously vanished sometime later, leading us... Never mind. Pop it up. Perhaps the most famous... No, pop us back up. Let's do it. Print. If you think it sounds good...